I'm starting to believe it. Great video.
Everything was
CES was low-key lame. This is a shame. I used to get so excited about CES. Let's see what happened this year.
AI. I'm kidding, but I'm also not.
That's it. That's my intro.
Hey, I'm Amanda. I'm professionally
That's
curious
pretty
and I
cool.
talk for a living, and you're watching Swell Entertainment, the place where I talk about whatever I'm obsessed with that week to you. And for the first time since 2023, I have returned to CES. Now,
Oh.
I should note, I am only going to be covering the media days and the first show day of CES. Why? Because tomorrow, I have to drive back to LA so I can then fly to Mexico City, Mexico, because I am working with Mahindra for Formula E. Very exciting. You guys are gonna get a video for it. It's gonna be very exciting. Lots of content. I'm excited. But that also means that I have to leave CES early. So today was my only show day. I think I'm fine with doing this because I do think I saw enough to form my opinion. Even if I
Let's
was
get
here
it.
full time, it would be impossible to see everything. But I did
Right.
22,000 steps today, hoofing it around the entire convention center, the
22.
Venetian, and I hit up the Aria the other day. So I think I've seen enough, but also there are trends that I see to this year compared to when I came last in 2023 that I do think are relevant and interesting, and also a shocking change that I am seeing that I want to note because, oh my God, is no one hiring salespeople anymore? My goodness. Okay, what
Oh,
is
yeah.
CES?
Everybody's
CES is the
sick.
Consumer Electronics Show. This is the largest consumer electronics show in the world. I get to come because I'm a YouTuber. This time they gave me a digital
Nah.
content creator badge. Previously, when I was here in 2023, I just had a media badge. I will say that this time around, there was way more digital content creators. So it also could be that whatever metric they were using in 2023, they have since changed. So a lot more people are being properly, credentialed
Classified.
as digital content creators and not media as I had been previously.
Let me go
Not that digital
there. I want
content
to go there
creators aren't
with you
media,
guys.
not what I'm saying. But I do think we serve a different purpose, and I think it's important to help these companies and products and startups, etc., know exactly what you are doing and what you are working with and things like that. I think it's just
Right.
a good thing to be credentialed properly. Also, these
Okay.
mean I get in for free. Consumer Electronics Show.
Well, does it really matter? I mean, if they're gonna give you different speeches because of the label that you have on your tag, I think that's pretty stupid.
I don't know what the standard badge prices are. I'm not certain. But it starts out with Unveiled. So there's kind of like two media nights, and CES Unveiled is something that I really enjoyed last time I was here. CES Unveiled is an early night for media and creators to get access to a handful of the startups, companies, and also a lot of the innovative award winners from CES before the actual show opens to the public. It's very helpful for people that are on deadline. It's very helpful for someone like me to get a very clear, quick screenshot of a ton of different products and trends that are happening in the space for consumer electronics in one night
Fuck's
when
sake.
you are only going to be here for a couple of days.
So obviously we only have a couple of hours, and this is also the only day for Unveiled. So I'm going to do my standard practice of starting from one end and just going up and down every single aisle. Obviously there is a lot of AI, understandably, with the current state of things.
Cyber attacks are relentless. Do you know how to truly protect your network? Red Education presents a free hour-long session on Palo Alto Network's next generation firewalls. Understand
You
DDoS
go, girl.
inspection.
As you guys know, I don't like AI. And though I do think there are a lot of things in accessibility AI that I do think are very cool and innovative, overall, though, I was not excited about most of what I saw at CES Unveiled, and frankly, most of what I saw for the rest of CES. It's an exceptional amount of AI, and everyone thinks they have the
Quote unquote.
groundbreaking AI, and no one can tell you what they do differently than ChatGPT. If you get me into your booth by saying, "Hi, ladies," because they think that me and the woman in front of me, we must be here together. Do you ladies use ChatGPT and Gemini? No. If you do that, though, and I then come and I'm like, "Okay, well, what's your product? Okay, what is it?" And you then tell me about your chatbot, and then I ask, "How are you different than ChatGPT or Gemini?" Because that's the example you gave me. And you're like, We're just different. We just are.
Are you sure?
I need you to go back to the drawing board. If you're going to bring up your competitors' names, or at least like the most well-known versions of whatever an LLM that you're doing, you should be able to explain to me how you are different. Just saying, it's basic. Okay.
I have been given a bag by one of the bird people. This
What?
is from BirdFi. They're launching an AI soon for their bird feeders. I'm telling you, the biggest
AI
innovation
bird
that I see
feeders.
at CES time and time and again that always stand out to me is the amount of innovation in like bird feeders, bird feeder cameras. Like the birders eat really well at CES. You know what I'm saying?
I did a full Glasses Files write-up for
What?
CES Unveiled. It'll be linked down below if you would like to check that out for a couple of the products that like really caught my eye. Not a ton, and also not all the products that caught my eye for good reasons, but you know how it is. But there was a lot of AI, okay? And that's the thing, when everyone has AI, it just blurs together.
None
You
of
know,
it
like no one's
is.
doing really anything seemingly groundbreaking, it seems. It's a lot of, we made this, but with an AI. And yet you can't tell me why that makes it better, aside from the fact that like an investor was like, what if there was an AI in it? You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, that's just what we're seeing a lot of. And that's what I felt there was a lot of at CES overall, but CES Unveiled in particular. Interesting trends that I saw. Unfortunately, there's a lot of toys targeting children that
That
involve
is
AI.
so sad. I already saw a video where they push the toy a little bit too much, and it's talking about BDSM. It's talking about um, Taiwan and China. There is no business giving any AI toy to any children.
I'm in danger.
We knew this was coming. There was a research paper done on like children's toys that had AI and like chatbots involved in them, and they were able to like the people that were testing it were able to break the parent locks very quickly. Like we're able to get the chatbots to tell them as adults like how to
How to light matches, light fires.
make a fire and things like that. Wild. And when I was like, hey, can someone explain to me why a toy needs a chatbot? Some tech bro replied with, because Toy Story is cool.
Are you
The
sure?
whole point of Toy Story is that the kids don't know. In the movie, the kids don't know that the toys have a life of their own. It's called imagination. They still love them without Buzz actually talking to them. That's what are we talking about? Also, toys have always had toy boxes. Like you can have a noise box in a toy. It doesn't need to be a chat bot. That's
Yeah.
insane. Some were like a lot of like toys that were also like for adults, which I did find interesting, like leaning into the Labubu craze maybe. I don't know if
Oh
some of these have
boy.
existed longer, obviously. Also, this is something that I saw. It was called Tombot, I believe, but I did see this same like branding for this type of product around CES when I would see these in the startup pavilion, in particular, Eureka Hall, I believe it's called, at the Venetian, and it would be
Honestly, let's say we choose the dog, right? And you get the dog, and it's connected to the Wi-Fi. It is a chatbot, and you don't have to pay for the subscription, right? Because it's the company that sells the dog that pays for you to be connected with the LLM model, right? Because this company is gonna inevitably fail, it's gonna go bankrupt. After that, it's bankrupted. You're gonna have a dog. You're gonna have a huge robot dog. Is going to be absolutely useless. There's gonna be multiple hundreds of dollars thrown to the garbage.
toys that are like AI pet stuffed animals or like AI pets that are for people and children that have allergies to pets, which is not unnew, I guess you could say, because like when I was a kid, I had a cat toy that like purred and hissed at my dad and, you know, like made sleeping noises whenever I pet it or something. Because my dad was allergic to cats. So like my parents just got me like that because they were like, this is fun. She'll stop asking us for a cat at this point. And so this is just a more sophisticated version of that. But I don't necessarily think it's like AI in the sense of we think of it as AI. It's just like sensors and things like that. And then it's like app related. You know what I'm saying? Fairly tame. I also do think there is a need for that.
Is
The
it?
same way I may not like looking at them, but I understand the need for like, say, like the real born dolls, the dolls that look like really realistic, like like babies. Like I understand the need for those. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's not for me. The other thing for some of these kids-based AIs, though, I had multiple people tell me, like, as a selling point for their AI, that like, oh yeah, and whatever your child tells it, it'll report back to you via the app. So like you will know what your child is telling the robot.
So you do understand, if you know what it says, that means it is taken, right? It is analyzed. It is stored somewhere. That means somebody else can have access to it.
They use the name of the product, obviously, because
I'm
that's
in
what every kid
danger.
wants, like a diary or a toy that's also a snitch. Just, I thought that was odd. In the Glasses Files post I just wrote, it was like, I feel like we're just coming up with new ways to like parent our children from another room. You know what I'm saying?
Only at CES will
Oh yeah, anything but taking care of your child, as we saw with the story card. That ain't it. Well, we already saw it a couple of weeks ago, I think. Poor lady. Because there's a lot going on here. It was a lady with her child, but turned out in the end that she was paying attention to the model and never to her child. So, is that's that.
they just hand you a bag of drugs. AI combo drugs, exactly what he called it.
The other thing, I only saw one at Unveiled, but then I saw, I think, another two more on the CES floor. Stringless guitars? It's very Guitar Hero, which not too against, you know. They were both very boring looking, which was fascinating to me. I didn't get to play with the one at Unveiled. I did get to play with the one on the floor today. And that one was sound, like the chord progressions, all of that, it was operating very well, based off the fact that I haven't picked up my guitar in like a decade. But like the other one I couldn't really tell because of how loud Unveiled was. But they both look boring. I want fun tech. Why are you guys
What is it? Is that like an air guitar that plays the song for you?
allergic to color? Is pigment in your plastic? You're all making it out of plastic. So like if you're gonna make it out of plastic, let's just add some dye in there. Let's make it green. How about like a bright blue, something fun. 8-Bit had a couple of things. I think it was Rode. Rode looked like they were launching a couple of colorful stuff because there was a creator like lounge space. I didn't stick around here. Lowe's has a creator program.
What?
Interesting. I know they pay out a lot of money to
Oh,
people
wow.
here on YouTube shopping, but I had no idea they had a whole creator program. That's kind of cool. Probably fun for like a lot of DIY creators, like builder creators, maker creators. That's probably fun. But one thing at CES, I made a video on TikTok, and I feel very strongly about this. Tech companies, I'm gonna hold your hand. I'm gonna hold your hand while I tell you this. You need to be sending your strongest extroverts to expos. Everyone should know your product. Everyone that you send to an event should be able to explain your product, your company, whatever. Okay, basic talking points. There should never be an instance where I ask a fairly basic question like, when is it going to market? Or how much is it on the consumer level? And it is already available, and the person there can't give me that number. There's also no reason that at a media night,
That's unfortunate.
I can walk up to your booth, look at your product, maybe grab a brochure, smile and nod to someone, and no one offers to explain anything about the product. Or
Oh,
I
wow.
walk up, look, and then kind of walk away while passing two of your people because they're standing in front of your booth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw this again and again. Forget even just with me, I witnessed this with other people. People with like whole camera rigs and things like that were just not filming but primed to film. You know what I'm saying? And this is media night. Like, this is your first impression. I saw videos from things at like CES Unveiled previously, and I would like go and seek that booth out, you know, at CES. Like, this is a good, like, oh, be sure to find our booth here, things like that. Like, these are early write-ups. You could get like the feature, you could get like focus, and yet, the
Nobody.
extroverts, not with your is no one hiring salespeople? Do you guys hire salespeople anymore? I know the
Nah,
job market's
man.
awful, and I know you
Gotta
guys think you can
cut
use AI for everything, you know, for
costs.
every like interpersonal communication, outward facing job that's not like tech, you know what I'm saying? There are certain times in recent months where like there's an experience I have and I'm like, oh, I have job security. YouTube can go away tomorrow. I'll be fine because I can talk to strangers. And I'm learning increasingly that that is not something a lot of people can do. I will
That's
always have a job
crazy.
in sales. I will figure it out. Hi. Oh my god, I see you looking. All right,
So
you are
easy.
with LA. I see. We're based in LA. Yeah. Have you heard about Blank before? No? Okay, so we are a AI slot-based company. You get my point. This is basic. It's not even like a
That's
small
good.
talk thing. You should be sending people to these events. I'm thinking product people, B team, behind the table, okay? They're the person that as soon as I grab someone, okay, to be like, oh my God, you're with someone. Have you checked out our product yet? No? You gotta come see this. It's so sick. Come here. And I start doing the spiel, and then they jump in with the specs. This was very, very infrequently happening at CES Unveiled. I was shocked. Now, not everyone. Some people were locked in, okay? But a lot of people not. And some people, I get it, because some people will be like, oh yeah, they hear a basic thing
Soft
and they walk
skills.
away. I
That's
heard
hard.
multiple people be like, oh, this isn't my scope or this isn't my
Not
field, you know,
everybody
type of
can
thing. So
do
they would
that.
like walk away. You just got to get people comfortable. There's such growth drivers, conventions, expos. There are international attendees here. International publications, creators with millions of followers between them. Not me, but you get my point. You know, like, let's not waste this opportunity by only sending the introverts. Then on Monday, I just went over, everything was like kind of closed. There was a lot of the programming, conference schedule, it's more media stuff. It's all the talks. On Monday, I just spent the time at the Aria to go, because that was the only thing that was like really had programming that I liked. It was a lot of the creator track. There was a creator and sports track. I was looking at a couple of things on the sports track, nothing that I could get to today easily, so I was just sticking around the creator track. But yesterday at Monday, not the main expo floor and all that was not open, so I just went to the Aria here in Vegas so that I could go to the C space, as they called it, and see like the creator stage talks that they were doing. There was a couple of
Oh
different
wow.
booths already in there that were open-ish, but I was there for the talks. Big space, pretty good audio as well. I do think that last time I was here, this stage was smaller, so I do like that this is a bigger stage this time around. Again, this was 2023, so this is bits off. That being said, there was one creator economy panel. Call me annoying. I think you should have a creator on your creator economy panel. Just one. I just think that like baseline. Also, every single person on that panel used Mr. Beast as at least one of their examples for a creator. You guys
Oh
gotta,
wow.
there's more. Like there's more. There's
That's
more.
the only
But I just
one.
think if you're gonna do a creator economy panel, you should have one. The second panel was like about Gen Z consumer habits, and literally everyone on that panel was Gen Z in various fields, which I do think was very good and worked very well, and they were all it seemed friends and were at least, you know, yapping and things like that. My friend Chloe Shi, great creator, was on a panel that same day as well about, you know, brands working with creators and like how brands like superpowers can be creators and like leveraging that partnership and things like that. And there Jazz was also on that panel, and that was a good mix because it was two creators and then two people from the brand side. And I do think that that is a good mix and is more helpful to the audience in this way. You know what I'm saying? Like to the people that could be watching and gathering information from this, these conversations where it is a mix of like the creators and the brands. And I think that's one of the reasons I really liked a lot of the talks that I went to at Cannes Lions at, say, the MasterCard Villa. I bring them up a lot, I feel like. From the Lions creators track, like it was a lot of that I think worked out really well. I walked around a little bit. I got this guy from the Weather Channel because the Weather Channel was there.
No way.
I won this. It's a storm cloud. His name is Nimbus, after cumulonimbus.
Is it just a
Obviously, walked
toy
around a
or?
little bit, nothing too crazy. And then I was like, let's go to bed early so I can lock in today. And I just hit the ground running. I attacked that convention center. I was locked in.
All right, I just got through the gate. I am
It's
inside
giddy.
Central Hall. South Hall is that way. Security is taking 9,000 years for some people because their sensors are being weird. Got the food trucks over
Wow.
there. None of the halls should be open, I think, but I'm gonna go in and
That looks
see
pretty
what the deal
cool.
is, see the crowd situation.
Saw a bit of South Hall, nothing crazy. You know, mostly did a good chunk of Central, North, and West Hall. Tried to spend a lot of time in West Hall just because there was a lot of car stuff based in there. It is broken down by various things. Central had a lot of the gaming cameras. North was a lot of health, AI, robots. Oh, hey, I don't know if you know this. A lot of
Shoot.
companies use AI, use robots to sell their not robot companies.
Some of these foods have nothing to do with these robots.
Isn't that weird?
They're just there to get you in the booth.
So weird.
Like at CES, the true booth babe is a little robot guy.
They have a robot in their booth with like their logo on it, even though it's all the same robot. It's like that little handle on the back robot. I don't know what company it's from. It freaks me out. It's like
So funny because they probably all rented them from the same people.
just shorter enough than me that it like makes me think of like a tall child. It's very odd. They all have that, and then they like put their hat on it or like their sticker across. It's like, I don't want to say chest. That sounds weird. Their body cavity. They use that to like get you to their booth because they know that people like to film a robot doing a squat or something, and then their logo is there. But the West Hall had a lot
Yeah,
of the car
boy.
companies. And again, nothing
Great marketing when the only interesting thing about you is a robot that is not even yours.
super exciting. Like across the board, nothing was super exciting here. To the point that I was like, God, I'm kind of glad I only have one day because I'm like not letting myself get like too invested in seeing everything. Whereas that's what I try to do in 2023. I try to see as much as possible. Whereas today I was trying to like, let's cover as much ground as possible so I can see as much as possible. But I knew I wasn't gonna possibly be able to see everything. But I feel like if I was here the whole time and I just kept looking for something to get me excited, I'd be more irritated by the end of it.
So far, I
Oh,
admit, across
yeah.
the board,
Nothing hitting the
I'm
spot.
not really getting excited here. I don't know.
This
I
is
feel like
what you
last
get with this stupid ass economy. Everything is so fucking underwhelming.
time there's a couple of things where I was like, oh, that's cool. But this time it just seems like, again, regurgitating, reinventing the wheel.
Just shoving AI after
So
the name.
we'll see. I had a lot more enjoyment for myself out of the startup space at Venetian last year. So once I'm done with this area, I will be heading that way.
I should have gone back to South, spent more time in South, but it was so crazy getting in there at the jump. Like I literally was here
Oh,
when they let us all in.
wash.
I didn't see nearly as much of South Hall as I saw of the rest, so I should make that note. Maybe saw like an eighth of it, if that. From the West Hall, I took a taxi over to the Venetian Expo really fast, $10. It was fine. And the Venetian
Wow.
Expo I was excited for because that was one of the spots that I got the most out of for Swell Entertainment, in my opinion, for 2023, just because that is where a lot of the startups are and where a lot of the international pavilions are, like Korea, France, Italy, etc.
All right, this is my favorite spot. Last time, Eureka Park, where all the startups are.
There was nothing.
Once again, it was a lot of AI. It's just like everything is exactly the same. It doesn't
Oh
feel
my
innovative.
God.
It feels like
What?
exactly the same thing, and like I can't escape it. You know what I'm saying? There was a few things that I got excited about, but like less so than, you know, previous years. But overall, I would say like still like the things that were like, oh, that's cool. Like me pausing and like wanting to like go to the booth. A lot of that was at the Venetian in Eureka Hall yes, Eureka Hall. And then above that was like sports, fitness, digital health, things like that. Again, a lot of AI, but a lot more investments in wearables. I'm seeing across the board like trends in wearables. Oh, a trend that I saw at Unveiled as well that I don't think I wrote about at all in the Glasses Files post, but I saw this as well today. Very big push in wearables that are like augmented for you as a human. I don't know what you would call this, but it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a harness that
Bro, I've seen this in AliExpress already. You can buy this for about $1,800.
goes around your waist that like is like a hinge for your hip, and it's like mobility aids. Some were for like recovery or for people that were trying to, you know, go through rehab, things like that. But a lot of times it was just like, yeah, you want to hike better, which I
Is that
found
AI?
interesting. It was a shocking number of those, which I don't know if that's because we're seeing a bigger rise in that because humans, especially here in the United States, we become so sedentary. And so we are seeing a rise in need for those. I can't remember if that was a big push in 2023 as well.
I mean, if you're sedentary, it's not because you have just fucking legs or hips, exoskeleton to help you walk, that you're gonna want to go hiking all of a sudden.
I'd be curious if anyone who has been to CES in the last couple of years, when I have not been here, if you've noticed a similar trend going up. The other thing that I thought was interesting, multiple tennis-based AI robots. I was wondering if it's because it is a very clear cut like numbers game where it's like you've got one or two people. It's a lot of them were advertising like you can work on your swing and your game with this robot versus like playing with another person. There was one that was also a basketball one, which for like shots and things like that, which I thought was interesting, but most of the time it was tennis based. So I'm very curious if we're seeing big tennis make a big push, and this is finally them fighting back against big pickleball.
Oh boy,
I don't know, but I thought it was
that
interesting. Lots of
is
wearables. Everyone has a ring, like a tech ring. Everyone's got a glasses, got a camera in the glasses. Lots of, you know, transcribing in the glasses and things like that. Oh, one that I did see that I was like, oh, that's cool. A like onboard computer that can work on any diving goggles for divers. Completely waterproof, and it's basically like an onboard camera, and also can apparently help you communicate with the rest of the people in your diving party, which I did think was cool. I am curious about anyone that does actually do scuba diving,
cool.
if this would be helpful for you. The same way that there was one accessibility product at Unveiled that I was not able to find again on the floor. I'm sure it was somewhere, I just couldn't find it. It was called Mnemonic Dot, I believe it was called. It was a label printer that printed labels in Braille.
Oh,
Okay.
that's pretty
And on
cool.
one of the materials, it was literally metal, like a metal label maker, so that it could like withstand elements and like repeated use and things like that. And to me, I'm like, that's so sick. Okay.
That's nice.
But
That's the only thing.
Introducing Augment Code Review,
Ah,
the
don't do
current
that to me.
best
I
code
gotta go
review
to the
tool when it comes to high
bathroom.
signal, low noise.
I have glasses, but I can see. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like there's certain times where like I think something is really cool for accessibility, but because I don't have that disability, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm seeing it from like an abled person's view. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm explaining if I'm
But
putting
not
my foot in my
able
mouth or not,
viewed
you know,
because
but,
of the
like,
glasses.
there was a couple of products like that, and a lot of the accessibility tech, and like there was a lot of people that I saw that were like using their walking sticks and things like that in these areas. So I'm like, okay, cool. So there are people that do have these disabilities that are like talking with these companies, so that is really cool to see. I really don't know if I'm explaining this well at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's some things where I'm like, oh, that's cool, but then like someone's like, yeah, no, that's not usable for me. That's to help you deal with me more. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm explaining this well at all. I thought the dot thing was cool. I thought the Braille label maker was cool. It's a lot of money. I believe they said that it was the current one on market that they had was $1,300 ish. They're trying to get it under $1,000. But
That's a
it
lot.
is still a lot of money. But unfortunately, I do see that a lot in accessibility, like aids and tech, is that the starting point is usually so expensive because they think there's less of a market for it. But I did like seeing a lot of the innovations that I was seeing, especially in Eureka Hall. There was a whole section that was specifically focusing on accessibility innovation. Like it was like a whole little roundtable thing. But I did think that was cool, at least just for the highlighting of it. You
That's
know what I'm saying?
interesting.
Because like
Yeah.
I do think that's where a lot of innovation we are seeing again and again and again. And if we could get it to a more affordable price point, that would be great. If I were to stay here for more days, I probably would have spent more time at the Venetian just so I could go through more. It was interesting because the amount of people that were like down in Eureka
It's
Hall did not realize that
gigantic.
Hall D was like above them and like had like a whole nother spot for it,
Oh
which is
wow.
crazy because a lot of the tech pavilions down Korea brought a lot of startups. They had a massive chunk of Eureka Hall. And then upstairs in Hall D, they also had another massive pavilion. A couple of countries did. But I just thought like that was massive for Korea, which I thought was interesting. Also, I get it, we're in the tech space.
All right, listen. I gotta take a